from her work on Saturday Night Live and movies like Sisters and Wine Country, her new movie, A Cluster Funk Christmas, airs December 4th on Comedy Central. Let's take a look.
Well, where are you coming in from, hon?
New York City.
Oh, New York. Never been there myself. Too many lights, honking horns.
yeah.
Ooh, all that hustle and bustle.
That's a great story. Could I just get my key?
Yeah.
Let me ask you something. In New York City, can you see the stars when you look up at the sky?
Not really. Not with all the lights.
No stars? How you gonna make a wish?
Please welcome back to the show our friend Rachel Dratch. Resplendent! Look at you, Dratch.
I'm wearing Christmas sparkles.
You are you always
Not even
sparkle.
Thanksgiving.
You
Yes.
sparkle every season.
Oh, thank you, Seth. It's good to be here.
It's great to have you here.
Thank you.
So this was the first time I was in a movie theater in almost 2 years. I went to the
yeah.
screening of this film on Sunday night. It was so much fun.
Thank you.
It was so much fun. For me, I can't imagine how much fun it was for you to hear it with an audience.
Yeah, we had never seen this with an audience, and people were laughing a lot, so it was a lot of fun. Yes.
You had one audience member where the stakes were a little bit higher. Your 11-year-old son, Eli.
Yes, I took Eli. I don't usually take him, I haven't done anything in a long time that would be like, kid-friendly.
Appropriate,
And I
sure.
didn't know how he was going to like it. I had to tell him. So this is a parody of a Hallmark Christmas movie.
Yes.
And so I had
A
to...
loving parody, it
Loving
should be
parody.
noted. A lot of people from the Hallmark world actually helped make the film.
Well, yeah, we had this one guy who, Michael Murray, who's written like 20 Hallmark movies. This movie was not sanctioned by Hallmark, though.
Right.
It has nothing to do.
Yes.
So don't sue us, Hallmark. It's just the
Very,
idea.
as greeting card companies go, the most litigious.
It's just the idea of a Hallmark movie. But anyway, yeah, so Eli, I told him, here are the basics of one of these real movies. And he really liked it. He was laughing a lot. And
That's great.
yeah.
And, because we've talked before, you have showed him SNL sketches from your time that maybe haven't always gone over that well.
Well, I tried to show him, when he was like 7, I tried to show him that original Debbie Downer, and he sort of like checked out halfway through. And then I didn't try again since then. I should try, though. But
Of course that even showing the Debbie Downer sketch is somehow a Debbie Downer moment.
Exactly, yeah.
Here, look. There, okay, we'll take that single. Say he didn't, you showed it to him, and then
He
look there and
checked
say he
out-
didn't like it.
He checked out halfway through. Can't even entertain my own kid. Yeah.
It's cluster, so there's umlauts over both
They're
U's,
umlauts.
so I think it should be Klusterfunk.
I know. I heard we have a German and an Austrian here, so there's some umlauts in the audience.
They left when they heard how I pronounced it. They're like, that's not
And
how
also, that
umlaut-"
wasn't on the air. That wasn't on air. That was in the pre-show.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, Rachel
Cut
is
that.
referring the crowd work that we do.
I listen to every moment, including the crowd work. No, Klusterfunk, we threw in some umlauts for comedy, but yeah, the last name of Anna and I play the Klusterfunk sisters.
Yes. Whose idea was it to cast you as a sort of aunts who own an inn?
Okay, so, we knew we weren't going to be like the executive who shows up from the city to fall in love. It wasn't going to be that. So it was so funny because we were talking about, like, what are we going to play? And it was like, oh, we're playing the spinster aunts who run the inn. They were like, oh, yeah. Like, there was no question. It wasn't even a discussion. It was just like, we go with this? Yeah. And then, like, bring on the gray buns. It was like, we knew we were going to have, like, gray buns, glasses. It was so fun because it was, like, SNL style. Like, sometimes when you're in a movie, you can't be as broad as you would like to be.
Yes.
Like, SNL style, you have to play it real. And this was so fun because we got to be, like...
Yes, the minute we see you, there's not a sense of, like, I feel like this is going to
Reality.
dig
Yeah.
down to what it's like to be an aunt
Exactly.
who owns an inn.
Exactly.
I
It
heard there was
fun.
a phrase that you personally really wanted to get in the film.
Right, so, for these Hallmark-esque movies, there's all these tropes and, like, things to hit to make it seem real. So anyway, there was one thing, like in all these romantic comedies, someone always says, someone asks someone on a date and then the woman goes, I'd like that. And so I hate that. I'd like that. So I say that to Tina sometimes, like when we're just like, do you want to come over to, I'm like, I'd like that. And so, so I knew we had to throw I'd like that in there. So that's a little like, find I'd like that in the movie.
Were there other like cliches from this sort of, non-branded holiday
Right. So I
show?
mean, there's like a there's like a few
The
plot
next
lines.
Hallmark card you get, you're going to
Yes.
open it up and there's going to be a
You've been
summons.
sued. Yeah, exactly. So there's like 5 basic plots, but the number one is like big city bitchy executive who doesn't have time for love or Christmas gets sent to small town and meets small town like woodsman or fireman or whatever, and then like falls in love. She's there to like take over a business, a quaint business, and then she falls in love and finds the spirit of Christmas. Not to ruin the movie, but So that's what it was. So we picked that as our main plot, but we also have like a magical dog. There's like things we threw in to make
It's very fun. It's very self-aware, but I think the part that delighted me the most, the longer I watched, was realizing, oh, this is also a Christmas movie, and I like Christmas movies, and and everybody in it is great.
Yeah, I think it plays on 2 levels because we made sure to make, the love story kind of real. So if you like these movies or if you can't stand them, I think there's something for everyone in a clusterfunk Christmas.
I think that's true. And you mentioned, I don't know if you can mention it here, but you mentioned before you introduced it, where you shot it and what time of year you shot it.
Oh, right. So all these movies shoot in Vancouver in July. That's real. There's fake snow everywhere. I learned a lot about fake snow because it's like there's a blanket, like a white blanket, that's one part. And then there's like the snow person in Vancouver who comes with a truck and like puts snow all along the edge. So that's a whole science. And then so there's a few little moments where we make sure you see that this is in Canada in our movie.
I really I like that you introduced it with that because you are wearing so many sweaters and so much gray bun.
Yeah,
And when I thought about the fact that it was like 90 degrees.
We were there in the heat wave and it was a lot. But everyone made it through. Yeah.
Everybody made it out.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here.
Oh my
It's
gosh,
a
it always
delight
goes
to
so fast.
see- It goes so fast.
Goes so fast.
It is always the best to see Rachel Dratch, everybody, acoustically. Christmas airs December 4th on Comedy Central.